Volvo Cars missing on revenue expectations in the fourth quarter, coming in at just over 94 billion Swedish krona amid the impact of tariffs and currency strength, down nearly 20 billion on the year. I'm glad we've got with us Håkan Samuelsson, the CEO of Volvo Cars. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Talk to us about the different challenges you're seeing impacting your markets.
Good morning. First, I think we have a very challenging market, especially in China, very tough competition. All our European colleagues have the same problem. And we also had some incentives on the market for EV cars that has been discontinued in the US and also in China. So I mean, very challenging external environment. I would say that is really explanation for the revenue figures. But internally, we have had a very good work done with lowering our cost and securing a positive cash flow. So that I would highlight as the most important positive things that we have reached during the year. We set out to really be positive cash flow for 2025, which was a tough target, and that we achieved. That together with a good cost reduction program is positive. Altogether, of course, bottom line, 3.5% EBIT margin is not where we want to be, but looking into all factors, I think it's a reasonable result, but a good base to continue from. But now we need to grow and then, of course, improve our profitability in 2026.
Håkan, absolutely, and that positive cash flow development, that's something you very much had your eyes on at the back end of last year. That's very encouraging. That said, you're a car company. Is the underlying demand for cars, is it there, or will it get worse before it gets better?
No, it's tough, but I mean, positive is really our sales growth in electric car. I mean, the future of Volvo is really depending on that we can transform the company into an electric. In the last year, I mean, the market has been nervous, is happening or not. I think now you see a clear development in direction to electric cars, and I think we are very glad we are on that. So we have 44% of all our cars were last year's chargeable, and but we have missed a car for the mid-size segment, which is the biggest one. So now with the introduction of the new EX60, we are really doubling in our addressable market segment for electric cars. I mean, that is really the key for growth for Volvo. We are not trying to grow with conventional cars because that will be a disaster from profitability point of view.
A disaster from profitability point of view. That's a very strong line here. When you talk about going electric, obviously, I guess we need to delineate between fully electric and plug-in hybrids. And those hybrid cars, they've been all the rage, and they're selling pretty well. Is that the future?
Yeah, I think it's mixed. But first, I don't know, to avoid misunderstanding, I think if we are trying to grow with conventional cars, that will not work. That's why we need to grow with all electric cars. But as you know, everybody's not ready to be able to charge them today. And that's why I think we need the hybrids as a bridge. I think, quite sure, the long-term solution are all electric cars. A really good car. There's only one problem. The range has been a bit limited and they are difficult to charge. And that's why we need a bridge solution with more long-range hybrids. So I think US and China, I think we will see a rather big market for so long-range hybrid, which we call the second-generation hybrids. And those we will have to really bridge into the future, which I'm sure will be all electric for Volvo. And then Volvo will be a bigger and more successful company. I mean, that is the main recipe for us to be more successful.
Range anxiety is one thing. The other one is affordability, specifically in the US, a market that your parent company wants to enter into. Can you give us any updates on those plans to break into the all-important US market?
Yeah, we have been there selling cars since long, and we also have a factory, but I think it's to be frank, is underutilized. We should do more cars local, and of course now with the regionalization of the global economy, that's the right thing to do. We need to produce where we sell cars. So we are bringing in the very best seller, the XC60 model. We will produce now locally in Charleston, and then we will follow up with an all-new, also sort of long-range hybrid car later this decade. But we will also sell, of course, electric cars, and there we have a very successful launch of our new EX60, which also will be, I think it will be a game changer for Volvo, because we are now doubling our addressable market segment for electric cars with that car.
Håkan, you've scaled up your production in the US as a result of the tariffs. Is that strategy working? Are you already seeing some sort of shield from the tariff impact by producing locally, and are you looking to expand production in the US?
No, we are not seeing it, because the decision now to introduce that will take some time, but then we will see that, of course. But we have seen already some improvement, because now the discussion about tariffs have clarified, and now it's 15%. It was higher earlier, so that has helped us, but more will come as we ramp up the production. And but so far also we see, of course, a negative effect from the weaker dollar that has impacted the profitability in the US. And I mean, that's of course another reason why we need to produce locally, because long term there is no solution to the currency fluctuation more than being more naturally hedged. And that we will be, of course, when we increase production in the US, which will happen.
Look, Håkan, you're back at this company. You want this. You need this to be a successful turnaround story. We know that personally. Your heart is very much in this. What does it take to be a long-term success story? Does it need better regulation? Some of the regulation and the push has been watered down in the EU. Does it need more help once again in the US, which does not seem to be forthcoming? Or is this truly a self-help story? What is the key to unlocking the future for a company that you've invested in so much?
I think it's realistic not to rely and count on some kind of state subsidies to help the electrification, if that's what you mean. That can only be done by better cars and affordable cars. And that's something also we do with the new EX60. It's the first car really that's priced on the same level as an hybrid. That has to happen. Otherwise, I think you need really focus in the company. Everybody here on need to have full understanding what we are trying to achieve. And that, I think, is my main task here, to really implement a clear way forwards for this company, and of course secure we have the right people on board to execute that. So that's my ambition. I want to put Volvo back on a solid track for a more successful future. And I think even though this quarter was somewhat a disappointment, I'm quite sure we have doing progress, and I'm very happy, especially with that now at least we're back into positive cash flow, which was our #1 internal ambition with this year, or with last year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Håkan Samuelsson, the CEO, once again, of Volvo Cars. All right.